Hello guys, this is the Retro Guy. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the mini disc. So this is the one that I fixed on the previous video. This is the model here, MDX S50. This is an MDLP, mini disc player and recorder. For those of you who doesn't know, there are basically two main types of mini discs for music. One is the regular MD, the other is MDLP. There are others in between, like for example MD data and things like that, but I'm not going to talk about that, and MD as well. But the most common ones are MD, the regular MD, and MDLP. The disc that it uses is the same one. It's exactly the same. That's the beauty of this. You don't have to buy special discs or anything like it. It works with regular discs, and the difference is the MDLP allows you to record up to 3 times more content in a single disc. It basically compresses it much further, allowing the disc to hold much more information. Of course, there is some loss of quality, which is one of the reasons that a lot of people basically didn't like the idea. But I have to be honest, like I use the MDLP sometimes, not a lot to be honest, because I do have a bunch of blank MDs, so there is really not a good reason for me to keep using MDLP, but I do use it, and the quality is really good. So I'm going to show you here. This is basically my mini disc collection. This is all of those are recorded mini discs. Some of those are mini discs that I have since basically the 90s, 2000s, since minidisc was released, and I have kept them, and well, not a lot, but some of them, and they still play just fine, which is really amazing. The same I can't say about, for example, regular cassettes, cassette tapes, because they deteriorate over time, and of course you try to play them and sometimes you get stuck, and so it's not really the same. The quality is really something else. So let me show you one MDLP that I have here recorded, if I can find it. I think this blue one here is an MDLP. So let's see if it focuses. Yep, that's kind of okay. So as you can see, this is an MD74. So it's not really like a special MD or anything like that. It's a regular mini disc, like the ones that you have from TDK or many other brands, Maxwell and such. So this one here, if I put it in my deck, you're going to see that as soon as it reads it, it is going to show as MDLP, and as you can see, it holds, like, this is pretty much all written up. So it has almost like 300 minutes of music, which is in this particular case 42 regular tracks on it. So it's much more than a regular MD, which regular MD holds pretty much the same as a regular CD, right? And this one is basically 3 times more. It's actually more than, no, it's roughly 3 times more. Yeah, so the regular one is 74 minutes, and this one is basically 3 times more, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, that's basically the idea of MDLP, right? And the quality is not really that bad. So it's not really that bad. It's actually very good. So it's not going to basically capture, so I'm just basically putting the phone close to the speaker so that this is where the speaker is. So I'm not sure if it's picking it up, but basically the idea is, yeah, it's very good. It's really not bad at all, right? So why am I basically recording a video about mini discs? This is that technology after all, isn't it? Well, it is, but the great thing about mini discs, to be honest, is it allows you to create your own mixtapes. Let's put that between quotes, right? So I know we nowadays have, for example, Spotify and some other services, and you can connect your phone to your car stereo and just plays like endless musics and something like that. You can create your own playlists and such things. It all works really well. But what happens when it comes to musics or songs that are not in Spotify, for example, and or other services like I don't know, iTunes and things like that? You do have a problem then, right? And how to listen to them on your car. So depending on the model of stereo that you have, you can record them or in MP3 format and use like a thumb drive or an SD card or something like that, and then use that on your car. Yeah, it works just fine, of course. But minidisc is a great way actually to do that. I can basically record all the songs that I want. Like this one here that has 42 tracks. Most of those tracks are not present in Spotify. I can't find them there. So those are like 80s and 90s musics that I like. Some Italo dance, for example, that is quite hard to find sometimes depending on the author. It's really not that easy. So yeah, it became basically like a good alternative to me. And on top of that, I have here, and I'm going to show you like a portable mini disc recorder and player as well. So this is a Sony, let me get the model here, MZG750. So this one I bought on eBay as well. This one was practically new, like it's working perfectly fine. So why I have both? Because this one here allows me, for example, to record to this one if I want songs that are in older mini discs that I have, just like dubbing, you know, like from one mini disc to another. So that's basically the whole idea. So both are MDLP. So this one here is also an MDLP player, so it can also play MDLP recorded mini discs. So what else? Well, how can you play that in your car, right? So this one here is one way for you to do that. So I can just take this to my car. You see how small this is? Just take this to my car, use an auxiliary cable and plug that into my stereo. Like pretty much all stereos nowadays, they have an aux or auxiliary input. Just use that and I can hear to all of my songs in my car, and just bring my mini disc with me and listen to them on the road and things like this. So incredibly easy and actually very cheap as well. So those are not that expensive really. Like MDLP, yes, it's always going to be more expensive and harder to find, especially in good condition. But the regular MDs, players and recorders, they are quite cheap actually. So it's not hard to find, and that same goes for blank discs. There are still like tons of batches of brand new mini disc mini discs, right? MD packages that you can buy at eBay, for example, like 10 new mini discs, like never opened, for pretty much nothing, like maybe 10 quid or something like that. So it's really cheap, and you can reuse them as many times as you like. So they have a very good lifetime. So yeah, it's to me at least, it's nice, it's nostalgic, you know. It's a conversation startup. If you're using something like that and someone just sees it, it is going to ask you, so what is that? Especially if they're young and they never saw a mini disc in their lives. So it is a good conversation starter. And for the old school like us, it's always some point of talking like, yes, I've heard about them, never used them, but yeah, show me how it works, how it goes, and things like that. So it happened to me like a lot. So what else can I show you? I have another car, right? And I'm going to show you that in a moment, that I wanted to basically swap the stereo that came with it. So I bought this car used, and it's a Lotus Elise. So I bought a Lotus Elise, around maybe like 2 months ago. It was my dream car, and now that I'm living in England, it's affordable kind of, and I just went crazy and bought it. Maybe a midlife crisis or something like that. And that car came with a crappy stereo. It was really, really, really bad. So I took that as an opportunity to actually buy a car MD player, so to set it up on that particular car. I was lucky enough to find a brand new Sony MD player. It's an MDX something. I don't remember exactly the model. I'm going to show you in a moment. And I bought it for quite a lot of money actually, because it was a brand new one, and those are quite rare to find. So I spent 100 quid on it. A used one goes for 40, maybe 50 quid if it working. If not working, then why are you going to buy it anyways? It's very hard to fix those. So, but anyways, it's not that expensive. In my case, it was, because it was brand new. It was really, really brand new. Never used, never opened. The box was basically sealed. So that was a good deal in my opinion. And I used to have one of those back in the days, like in the 90s. I had a Golf, and a Volkswagen Golf, and I installed one exactly the same model in that one at the time. So to me, it is really meaningful to have something like that installed in my actual car nowadays. So I'm going to show you that now. Okay, so let me just take one mini disc with me. That one can't play MDLP, which means I cannot take this one here. So this one doesn't play in that particular stereo because it's the stereo is not MDLP. So let's pick one here. So I don't know. Let's go for something nostalgic as well, like this Italo mix here. Maybe, yeah. So there is one here, right? Italo mix 2004, and let's put that in the car. So that's my Elise. So this is an Elise 2015. For those of you who know it, so this is basically the 20th anniversary edition. It's basically the Club Racer in a commemorative edition. So it has some differences that I'm not going to mention this here, because basically that's not the point of this particular video, right? So I'm going to get inside. It's quite ridiculous to get inside on one of those because it's so small. So I'm doing my best here holding the phone. It's not gonna look pretty, but you guys are not seeing it, so I don't really care. So legs first, and yeah, you just basically get used to it after doing this a few times. So this is it. So the model is, so this is has the detachable front, very old school. I love that. So this one, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Let me see if I can focus this. I hate my phone. Okay, a little bit better. So you can see here on the top right corner. So this is the MDX C7900R. That's the model of this guy, and it is brand new, right? Well, it was brand new. So let's put the front back in. It's a little bit hard with just one hand, but yeah, it's there. There it is. So light is not so good here, so sorry about that. It is with the roof. Basically the roof is on the rooftop here, and not a lot of light is coming in, but hopefully you guys are going to be able to see it, especially when I turn it on. So forgot the key. So just hold on, I will get the keys and come. Okay, I forgot that I could actually turn on, so forget about my bare foot there, right? So apologize for it. But yeah, that's basically it. It's there, it's installed. So in the Lotus, for this to work, I have to actually turn on the ignition here. I don't have to really turn on the engine, but I have to turn on the ignition. Let me turn off the air conditioning so that we get a little less noise. So because I removed the front, right, it basically defaults back to the clock, and the clock is accurate. So you can see here on the panel, 1607 and 1607 there. So it holds the information. Even if I unplug the battery, this system has an internal battery that holds the information for, I have no clue for how long. It just does for some period of time, right? So let's put a mini disc in. It's of course going to read it. Another thing that is great about this one, so yeah, this is Fox on the Run by DJ Spacey. This is one of those songs that you can't find on Spotify. It simply doesn't exist there. Not this version with DJ Spacey. So let's move to the next song. This one, another one that doesn't exist in Spotify or anything like that. So I can change the display by clicking here. It shows me basically the name of the song. There is also like dynamic bass switches here. So mine is in 3. So I'm going to just turn the music a little bit down so I can talk. So this is a remix from the Wall song from Pink Floyd. So very popular in the 90s, right? I really like this. So what else do we have here? It's very simplistic actually. So it doesn't have a lot of options. So you get to control sound. So for example, clicking here, I get to adjust the bass, which is already in the max. The same goes for the treble. It's almost in the max here. So just because, you know, that's the setting that I like. Balance and fader. Incredibly enough, this car actually has speakers on the back. So you have 2 speakers on the front here. Those ones are the ones that I installed. Those are not original. So I just added the focal ones to get a little more deeper sound and bass. The original ones were basically crap as well. And on the back here, you get some additional speakers. Those are focal as well. It was a lot of work actually to change those because I have to remove the seat. So yeah, don't get me started. Like it's not easy to work inside of a Lotus. But yeah, that's basically that's it. So what else can I show you here? So turn it off here or turn it down. So what else? So this is Bomb the Bass. This one is in Spotify, right? You can easily find it. So this is Don't Make Me Wait from Bomb the Bass, and Guess I Like It from Kylie Minogue. This version is not on Spotify, not this remix. So, and you see that it's just basically things that I like to do, you see. So songs that I love that actually had some meaning to me, and I'm able to basically listen to them when I'm driving this car particularly, or any other car, just by carrying on the portable MD and connecting into the auxiliary port. So yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to show you, an actual modern use for mini discs in today's date. Like not a lot of people are doing this, of course, but I am, and I have to say, like it's very satisfying. By the way, installing this here was really like plug and play, just removing the old one and plugging this in, and that's really it. Like anyone can do it. You don't have to bring the car to a stereo place or anything like that. Really, it's really easy. But if you have like another car like has those on dash sort of stereos, then probably don't want to mess around with that, right? This really applies to cars that has like a 1-DIN sort of like this one here, which is very easy to swap the systems. Does this has USB? No. Does this has Bluetooth? No, it doesn't. So basically what I get here is radio, which actually works really well here as well. Much better than the previous one. This is not DAB. This is not digital. This is traditional FM, but it really is good, which is also something that on Lotus cars it's hard to get, because the antenna is in terrible place here in the Lotus. So normally the reception is crap, but this particular headset here actually does provide a good reception. So as you can see, there are no cracking or anything like that. It's really good quality, right? So it was a very, very good purchase, this guy here. Very, very happy with it. And yeah, it's working just fine. As you can see, that's the challenge with you know, purchasing older ones. Eventually it is going to have some issues with sometimes like the optical head alignment. This one actually has a factory setting thing that you can do, like service setting, that it automatically recalibrates the optical heads and things like that. Probably other models will have something similar as well. I didn't do it because it was working out of the box, but if you are buying like an older one, used one, maybe you might want to do that if you see that songs are not playing as it should and things like that. Another thing that is great about this model here, pretty much all Sony MDisc player models, is that it has a shock resistance of up to I don't know how many seconds. So basically what it does is it buffers the data into memory, and even if you go through like holes and the car shakes a lot, which again in a Lotus is very common, it doesn't skip at all. Like you can go as hard as you want, and even on track days if you want. Normally you're not going to listen to music on track days, but it's not going to skip. This guy is really, really good, right? So that's it. Modern use of mini discs to create your own mixtapes, take them with you on the road and just have an amazing time. And another thing that is great about mini discs is how portable they are. So very easy to carry around. They are so small, you can just place them anywhere. Well, in the Lotus is again difficult because there are no glove compartment or anything like that, but I do carry them around here like that. You see that you don't even need a case because the mini disc is already self-protected. So of course you don't want to leave this in the sun or anything like that. It is going to ruin it, but you know, anyways, like just an example of modern use of this little guy. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, just leave it a like so I can continue to make those small videos. Okay, see you guys, bye.